Oh, hey guys. Didn't see you there. I was just finishing putting up the string to stop these vines from growing on downward so that we can keep this cave looking all nice and clean and get ready to start adding some builds for today's video. Fun fact, I just learned this trick today actually. If you get yourself 2 buckets of powdered snow, which is literally all I did in between episodes, I got myself 2 buckets of powdered snow. You can do basically anything. I believe that 2 buckets of powdered snow is better than all the scaffolding in the world. Watch this. 2 buckets of powdered snow and a pair of leather boots, you can get yourself literally anywhere. Except down. You can't go down, but you can go north, east, west, south, whatever direction it is. And I know those were not in the order of a compass in case that threw you off. Ha ha ha. Now you're annoyed. You can also go up infinitely. It's perfect, honestly. As someone who really enjoys building and tends to end up needing to get up to high places to add detail a lot, such as right now with string and on these vines, I mean, it's beautiful. And then cleanup is as simple as you pick it all up and you glide on down. And if you don't have elytra, you just go ahead and, landed water or MLG water bucket. Or even while you're falling, you could then just catch yourself in your bucket of powdered snow. It's genius. Just maybe take off your leather boots before you try to catch yourself, otherwise you're gonna die. But that's what I've been up to. Now, I'm sure y'all are wondering, what do I have planned for today's episode? Well, today, we are going to work on getting the materials I discussed at the end of last episode to work on our basement here. All we have in as of right now is a floor, and trust me, it's not going to stay like that forever. I have very big plans for this basement, and this entire cave as a whole, really. But first, I need to get access to honey and honeycomb before we can work on the interior of that basement. That is why in today's video, we are going to be working on building a greenhouse kind of build. I've already got the whole build planned out, so if I'm not able to really describe it right now, that's alright, just stick around because you're going to want to see this. It is truly a beautiful little build. We're going to work on collecting some bees, setting up some redstone automatic bee farms, and we're just going to have ourselves a very good, jolly time. So, how about we just go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to want to do when it comes to making ourselves a lovely little bee farm, we can't really build these bees a nice home if we ain't got bees. So the first thing we're going to want to do today is go find ourselves some bees. So let's get to it. The bee has been located. I just saw a buzzy bee flying through these parts of the wild forest. We just have to locate the hive and then kidnap all of the buzzy bees hiding inside. The hive has been located. So touch pickaxe. And I have kidnapped all of the bees and, anything else that may have been hiding in there. And we can make ourselves all of the honey in the world now. However, we're still in that flowery forest area, and there's a lot of flowers up on top of this big old hill. So we're gonna keep walking this way and see if we can find any more buzzy bees to kidnap. Especially if this hive only has 1 bee, which would be very, very unlucky, then we really can't do anything till we find more. But I don't know how many buzzy bees are in this hive, and I'm not gonna place it to find out. I'm just gonna look for more, because I'm already up here, if you get what I'm saying. Bzzz, bzz, bzz, bzz. I see bees! Let's get over there. I don't know if you guys can see them if we get on top of this little hill. You see on that birch tree over there? I'll try and zoom in on it in editing. faintly see like a little yellow box on the side of it. Oh, let's go get those bees. And we have arrived. There is a hive, and I just saw 2 buzzy bees go hide inside, meaning that I can guarantee there's at least 2 in this one. So we should guarantee be good, and we'll be able to breed them and start our very own buzzy bee farm. But before we leave, there is a abandoned village right down here, and I see a blacksmith. What is waiting for us behind door number 1? Let's find out. That's really crummy. I mean, I'll eat the bread. And I guess, you know, gold, but still, like... Wow, is that bad? And since I feel like it, we're gonna shoot that. Yeah. Alright, well, we have accomplished all that we have come out here to do. Now let's head on home. Alright everybody, so we are now back at the base. We've got both of our beehives right here in our hotbar. And now it's time to start gathering materials and getting ready to build this whole bee farm area. I intend to stick it right up there on that ledge. Let's just go ahead and put away these hives. But I do intend to stick it up here on the upper area. I do want this entire cave down here to feel like a village, I want this entire cave down here to feel like one big village, a community even. So I have to be careful with the buildings because it can't be too big, but it can't be too small. So really, you just gotta get it just right. And I've done a lot of playing around with it in a test world, but I think I have figured out what the build should look like. I've gotten everything planned, we just gotta go ahead and get the stuff we need. Alright guys, so unfortunately the original audio for this clip did get corrupted, but here we are, we've gotten all the supplies gathered right here in these 2 boxes, and now it is time to grab these boxes and go actually build this thing. Let's go ahead and start that time lapse. Alright everybody, the build has been finished. It wasn't too lengthy of a build, It was only about 4 hours, and honestly, it should have been a lot quicker. I'm just like slow. But you can see it up there on the hill in all of its glory. I think it fits the space quite nice, and it looks truly beautiful with the lush caves surrounding it. If we head on up there, we can take a bit of a closer look. So first thing I'd like to point out, I didn't show these in the time lapse. I have gotten 2 bee heads. Don't ask how I got them. No bees were harmed in the making of this video. But I stuck 3 candles inside of each, and I lit them. When looking at it from above, it kind of looks like the top of the bee is on fire, but normally you'll be seeing them from a lower level, so they look just perfectly fine. But what's nice about these is they emit light, kind of just brings some nice mood to the area, and really just lightens it up, I think. Pun intended. Besides that, we have got the actual bee sanctuary section to the build. It is, I mean, pretty basic. It's just a bit of a glass dome, a stripped spruce wood trim all the way around, with the hives and just a bunch of moss and azalea flowers inside. The build also, it isn't necessarily anything incredibly special, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. As you can tell, it has been a little while since the time lapse, because of just how much this copper has started to age on the roof. Ideally, this will all be that 3rd stage of oxidization where it's partially green, but not fully green yet. So we will have to get some honeycomb to wax it all. Around the house, you can see I've got a lot of vines and glow lichen, along with some glow berries just all over, to add light, bring some mood, and just kind of make it look like this build has been here for a while. That is also why I went with the bit of a broken feeling with the stones. Rather than using normal stone, I used primarily the cracked stone brick, cobblestone, and mossy cobble just to give it that broken vibe. And once again, add that bit of aging factor to it. For this upper bit, there is just some mud bricks. I probably could have done something a bit more to go along with that aging idea. Like it's been here for a while, but I just thought the mud really complemented everything very well, and it just really looked like it belonged. Overall, I still think it looks very nice, and the mud does kind of give it that dirty feel, once again implying age a little bit. We head on up the ladder to the front door. We've got some dark oak trimmings around this build. There's a bit of a flower box here where we've got some poppies. I may switch out this dirt for grass in the future, just to kind of bring some more green and life to it. If we head inside, it is a very spacious and open interior. I didn't go too much overboard with it, I just wanted to keep it nice, basic, and open. If we look over here, we've got some chests in the corner, just kind of marking out storage for all the honeycomb that we're going to collect. Over here, we've got a bit of a workstation area. You can jump in the stool. You've got your block of honey, you've got a bit of a knife here, I guess, you can chop it up, it's just an iron sword. And then we've got some honeycomb on the table to just kind of make it look like a workbench. We're kind of working on the honey and getting it ready for use or to be sold or whatever we're going to use it for. And then we've got some just candles to, light to prevent mobs from spawning, obviously. Over here, we've got another little bit of a table situation. You can jump in the stool, there's some bread for you to eat, candles to light up the area, a bit of a sink situation, and I added a brewing stand to kind of make it look like a coffee pot, if you will, but I'm not sure it necessarily gives off that vibe, but it looks really nice in my opinion. And then our final little bit is the wardrobe. This is where I keep the bee suit, which is really just iron armor. It's holding the shears, which you would use to go get honeycomb from the hives, and it is standing on top of the chest where the empty glass bottles will go to get honey bottles from the hive. If we check the clock in my inventory, it is almost nighttime, so we will be able to go harvest all the honey shortly. It looks like the bees are currently in their hives right now, so we can go get it anyway. But I would like to add a little bit of a feature where there is a kind of a timer, basically, inside the house. Because while there are, yes, campfires underneath the beehives, which you can hear them crackling if I just shut up for a sec. But it's really, even with those in there, you want to be sure to harvest the honey at night. That way the bees still don't get mad at you, because they're just weird. I've had them really bug out before. Once again, pun intended. And while yes, we can see the outside sky from inside here, once you're actually inside the house, just kind of chilling out, you can't really see what's going on. So what we're going to do is hook up a daylight sensor and install a light in the side of this build. What we're going to do is knock out the slab in our ceiling, mine these 3 blocks on the wall, grab some redstone materials. We're going to put a redstone torch on this block. We're going to pillar up with our mud, grab some wool, put it on top of that redstone torch, another redstone torch on top of the wool, another block there. Put some redstone dust here. We're just going to knock out this block temporarily. We can put our redstone lamp there with redstone dust above it. We can drop down the hole in the ceiling and put that block back. That is all the redstone on the inside of the house done for this. Now what we're going to do is come around back. If we just remove these 2 blocks, you can see the redstone torch is on the side of this pillar. So we need to run redstone power into that block. What we're going to do is grab our spruce slabs, dig a bit of a tunnel into this hill here, and we're just going to run these all the way down. Now what we're going to do is run our redstone all the way down so we can run our redstone dust all the way like so. Put our daylight sensor in, set it to night mode, and now we can mine out the ceiling up here. That should be all of the redstone set up. We can now go ahead and put that back, and it kind of looks like it's coming out of the hill. It's not too obvious. If we step back a little bit over to here, it is pretty hidden. You see those 2 spruce planks, but it works with the vibe, and it's behind the house, so it's not very obvious. Now, if we head inside the house, we can check my clock. We can see that it is indeed nighttime, and the light is on. Now what I'm going to do is pop down my bed. We're going to take a little nap, and we're going to see, there it is, that the light has now turned off, showing us that the daylight sensor redstone is indeed active. And now, whenever the time comes for us to harvest all the honey from these bees, we will know indeed when it is nighttime and when we can 100% guarantee it is safe to go and do so. Alrighty everybody, so this is going to unfortunately be the end of today's episode. We have just run a little bit past 15 minutes. I think we're at about 18 minutes right now, so I gotta wrap this up. Pretty much all I got to say now is do be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications, because next week we are going to have an episode out where we are going to make a beautiful nether themed blue colored building to encase our nether portal, and we're just going to start landscaping all this area around our starter house. And if you don't want to miss it, subscribe and hit those notifications. And if you already are subscribed and you got those little notifications on, send it to a friend and like the video, please. Honestly guys, the more you share these around, the more it's going to get recommended to other people, the more the channel's going to grow, and the more videos I will be able to put out quicker. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I will see you next time. Bye!